It's been 4 years since I originally wrote Advance in Faith, and looking back over that time, if I could draw one principle out of this that was most important, it was to obey God. Acting in obedience is probably the primary thing you can do to keep on the right pathway with the Lord and to speed things along and not get stuck in a rut. 1 Samuel 15:22 says, "Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams." I'd say that all of us have some area in our life where God is challenging us to be better. And if you can look back at those places where God's shown you something that you haven't quite done yet and work on those specific things, I think you'll find you make a lot of progress and do it faster than you would otherwise. This actually takes faith. It takes faith to act in obedience. And Hebrews 11 has this wonderful list of some of the heroes of the Bible and how they acted in faith. I'm picking Abraham. By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going. Another important reason to obey is not just for the blessings, but it's to avoid danger. A lot of times God gives us instructions, especially in dreams, as warnings. Job 33 is probably my favorite place for learning this principle. "For God does speak, now one way, now another, though no one perceives it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they slumber in their beds, he may speak in their ears and terrify them with warnings, to turn them from wrongdoing, keep them from pride, preserve them from the pit, their lives from perishing by the sword." So the warning dreams principle is another reason why we want to act in obedience to God. And one of the examples in the Bible of this that I've heard spoken of recently is Genesis 35, where Jacob is told to go to Bethel and live there. But he doesn't stay, he leaves, and that's when his wife dies. A lot of the bad things start happening after he leaves, and God told him to stay there. And you wonder if he had stayed, how things might have been different, but that isn't the record that we have. And so in our own lives, when God is telling us to do things, think very hard about how to listen quickly. Another point of this is that obeying God leads to the path of life. This is from my blog. Let me pull it up. John 8:51. "Truly, truly, I say to you, if anyone keeps my word, he will never see death." And so, I like to imagine this, that if we could obey God perfectly, what would things be like? And what would things look like in our own lives? And so, as you take your next step with the Lord, with whatever he's showing you, keep that in mind. A final point as you step out to obey the Lord is to be wise about what you think you've heard him say. And check it against Scripture, check it against how you feel about it. You can check it with other people who serve God, and seek that wisdom. I think a lot of times people are presumptuous in what they think God is saying to them. So if you're humble, if you're acting with wisdom and cautiously, you're probably going to be okay. And so God bless you as you walk with the Lord.